So today we are going to have some insights about what is Hara. Hara in Japanese language means the center of your consciousness. If consciousness is all pervading, all penetrating, everywhere it exists, how can it has a center? Like physical body has got different organs, the brain, the lungs, the liver, kidneys, bones, muscles, 5 senses, sensory organs. We have in energy body 7 centers. Like we have different organs in physical body working in unison, working in tandem, in harmony, in homeostasis to maintain the overall function and health of the physical strata. The energy body, the pranic body, otherwise called as the etheric body, has energy centers. Each center is called as a chakra. Chakra means junction of various types of energy channels. Each channel contains a lot of energy flow. Like we have vasculature through the cardiovascular system, we have energy vasculature as well in the energy body. This energy vasculature supplies the energy to every cell of the body. Different cells, the brain cell, the bone cell, the liver cell, the skin cell, every cell. And many such energy channels meet at certain one point called as a chakra. Like that we have 7 chakras, as many of you know, from Mooladhara to Sahasrara chakra. Hara is a point in the lower abdomen, 2 inches below the navel, 2 inches inside, and is almost like fist size of one's fist. How do you know all these things? It is a non-physical entity, and neither it is a physical body nor an energy body. This Hara is located in the Swadhisthana area, but nowhere related to Swadhisthana chakra. Please understand this point. Consciousness governs energy. The prajna controls prana. The consciousness controls energy. This consciousness center, otherwise called as Hara, controls the entire energy centers, otherwise called as chakras. Like 7 energy centers control the entire physical body, the center of consciousness, otherwise called as Hara, controls all these energy centers. When the awareness, the mental consciousness, moves from physical to non-physical realms during meditation, it finds over a period of time itself getting centered in this area, in the lower abdomen. Let me share with you my own case, how I discovered Hara in my life. What I am talking today with all of you is not what I learned from any person. This is not what I read in any book. This is not what I heard from anyone. This is self-discovery. During my childhood, I discovered the location of the Hara when I was more intense, especially during examination times, especially when I used to get deep into myself while reading a storybook, while watching a movie. Whenever I get absorbed, I used to find myself inside very intensely. When you are at this intense centered consciousness, this centered consciousness is not actually a center, just like a energy center or chakra. When consciousness gets converged, when the intensity becomes converged, when the inputs of the sensory organs and the information we get through these sensory organs are completely stopped, like a turtle, the head gets inwards. When senses move inwards, you find this consciousness getting centered. From periphery, it moves towards the nucleus. A consciousness which is nuclearized is called as the Hara. When the same consciousness, when it moves towards periphery, it's called as mind. The consciousness moving towards mind. The consciousness working through the mind. Like while I'm talking now, I'm using my mind. My consciousness is using my mind talking to you. The peripheralized consciousness can be called as mind. The centripetalized consciousness can be called as the Hara. Simple. So the entire effort of spirituality, the entire sadhana of spirituality is nothing but moving within, getting internalized and getting grounded, getting centered. When you are very intense inside, when the consciousness moves from head, which contains a lot of imprints, thoughts, ideas, old patterns, recurrent patterns, programs, we don't know that we are programmed. Even if we know, we don't know how to come after them. And a lot of emotional baggage in the heart area with different types of fears, different types of guilt, anxiety, agitation, frustration, depression, whatever you call it, different types of life to different types of persons. It has become a complex psycho-emotional baggage. So in Hara, this head and heart, they become one. The thought and feeling become one. This is otherwise called as yoga, otherwise called as Advaita, otherwise called as Tao, otherwise called as Dharma, otherwise called as the Hara. Nothing but same. The centripetalized consciousness, the inverted consciousness, internalized consciousness. And it has to be experienced. It can never be understood intellectually. Impossible. Never try to understand intellectually. It's not possible. Logical brain doesn't know all these things. Rational mind doesn't know all these things. A cynical mind cannot peep into it anyway. It has to be experientially understood with certain preparation. Preparation to get into Hara is important. How do you prepare? Like you prepare for exams, even worldly life, simple exams of life also need preparation. Is it not? Without preparation, can you write an exam? Without any preparation, can you upload this video into YouTube? You have to prepare. Without preparation, can you knock Muhammad Ali in ring? Is it possible? If you go without preparation and try to fight with Muhammad Ali, what will happen? He will knock down in 1 second. Over. Is it not? Preparation is required. Here to get into yourself, what type of preparation is required? We have to understand a few things. First thing is, we must understand the value of inner ease. We must be easy inside. Easy means, observe a child. His expressions are very easy. His body movements and his mind both are aligned. He cannot be unaware. A child can never be unaware. Every second of his wakeful consciousness, you will never find him unaware. Why? The child's consciousness is the yogi consciousness. Watch any animal. Have you found any animal living in Paradhyan? Have you seen any child less than 5 years in Paradhyan? Is it possible? Adults, always Paradhyan. Always, 99 people, 99% of the times, they're Paradhyan. Paradhyan means they are thinking those thoughts which are not required to think at the time, at the moment. They are thinking unnecessarily. And all these thoughts are unwanted, uninvited. Sometimes difficult to live away with them. From the elements of obsession, from the elements of impulse, from the elements of inevitability. The thoughts, so many stray thoughts are moving in the mind continuously. That's why the adult is called as adulterated farming. This adulterated being, otherwise called as adult, the big boys, we call young boys, children. All the adults should be called as old boys, old girls for me. Children are never childish. Animals, never childish. Human beings in adult forms are very childish, immature, not wise, because their consciousness is peripheralized. They live as per their self-acquired programs. They live as per their patterns, self-created patterns. They cannot understand anything other than their own patterns and programs. They try to understand only as per this mental frame, mental configuration. Their grasping capacity, understanding capacity, perceiving capacity, always within this configuration. Beyond this configuration, you cannot understand. They die. Without knowing the value of going within, staying within, without the value of staying grounded. All their efforts, even in the name of spirituality, many people are attached to many types of organizations. Their gurus always make tall claims of their methods. This is the ultimate way of doing meditation. Every guru says that. Can you find any guru who says my meditation is not great? This meditation is not great. He always has to make tall claim because his gurudom doesn't work. His gurudom is based upon his claims. They're true, no problem. But this is the only method. This is the only way. When you keep on feeding the followers, what will happen? The followers become mechanical. They become missionaries. It's a type of slavery, a spiritual slavery. That's how organizations are working in the world. Mastery is totally different. Mastery is based on self-discovery. If you want to become a master, please understand, if you want to become a master, discover for yourself. Go within the way you understand. You don't have to follow what I'm saying. You don't have to follow what any person is saying. You just try a way, find a way which is comfortable to you and try to go within. But going within needs certain preparation. First point is inner ease. There is nothing like effort. There should not be anything like effort. There should not be anything like exercise. There should not be anything like a routine. Like I'm going to morning walk, I do meditation today. It is not a routine type of thing. Which we have to fix your time, do it now. Though you may try for a few weeks in the beginning for understanding's sake, but it has to be 24/7. Spiritual sadhana is a 24/7 affair. Because There are many people, if you observe, they say, I did meditation today for 1 hour. They feel very happy because just like, a person who goes for regular morning walk for months and years together, suddenly he misses one single day, he feels very pinched inside. The same way, people who are into the path of meditation do meditation for 1 hour in the morning. They get pinched if they don't do it. In the non-meditative hours, they lead the same old idiotic life and say, I did my meditation today. Meditation is a 24/7 affair. The child's consciousness of not being unaware exists every moment of his life, every moment of his day. With open eyes, he is completely centered. Watch the eyes of any child. There is no agitation in the child's eyes. There is no frustration in the child's eyes. There is a lot of peace. The diffuse looks are diffuse, peaceful, no frustration. They're in learning mode, observing mode, grasping mode, investigative mode. Adults, just because they are called as adults, have lost the quality of investigation. They investigate with their logic. They investigate with their reasoning. They investigate with their patterns and programs, unlike a child. All this because of losing this point and property called as inner ease. Inner ease is very, very important. Second point is commitment. Unless you have commitment to go within, commitment is a type of seriousness, a type of bringing intensity to your life. And this commitment is not a weekend commitment. I meditate for Saturday and Sunday, just like I go to church on every Sunday. I do namaz on every Friday. It's not like that. I go to Hanuman temple on every Tuesday. It's not like that. It is moment to moment commitment. It is a commitment of staying aware. It is a commitment of staying centered. In any situation you are in, external situation doesn't matter at all. Internally, what you are alone matters most. So inner ease, commitment. Third one, if you observe in many spiritual organizations and seekers as well, they talk about meditation experiences. They sit for meditation, they come up with some experience, they get excited, keep on sharing on phone, person to person, Zoom meetings. A lot of excitement is there. A lot of appreciation they get from the listeners. But point is, whatever meditation experiences that you are experiencing, undergoing, are purely personal. Stay. Keep it within yourself. Hold it. The more you hold it, these experiences turn into insight. If you keep on talking about them, you lose that insight. You lose the wisdom within. You lose the transformation that experience is offering to you. Let that experience get incubated. A seed is sown into the soil. It takes time to germinate. Even for an experience, whatever experience that you have undergoing, having, experiencing, needs certain germination time, incubation time for it to develop into an insight, for it to change your frequency, for it to transform you. Hold all your experiences, hold all your unnecessary talk. All this spiritual gossip is also a type of gossip. There's fourth one. The fourth one is remember all the above three. Carefully. I'll tell you one example. I used to go to Pune every Sunday in one season, a few years back. One elderly person, a good friend of mine, he picks me his car. So we go to his house, I get refreshed, and I take my workshops. So one day I saw on his steering wheel, Lakshat Tev Marathi. Means be careful. So I asked him, what do you mean by this? He said, be careful, Lakshat Tev. Why did you keep the sticker? He said, every time I'm coming out of my house, traffic police constable stopped me because I didn't wear seat belt. So I was paying penalty to him. My wife was very disturbed. Why do you forget to wear seat belt? So she kept the sticker on my steering wheel so that I remember that. Then what happened? I asked. Again, I am paying the penalty, he said. Why now? Because sticker is already there. I'm forgetting to see the sticker, he said. So memory or reminders doesn't come the way like this. So many guides, so many gurus are telling, I'm also talking to you. These reminders won't help you. They are superficial. But what is within? If he remembers, be careful. You should not pay the traffic constable the penalty because of you are not wearing seat belt. If it is within, you don't need any sticker. All these talks, all these gurus, all the teachings are only stickers, reminders. You never need it. You have to keep it as a recall. It has to be in your memory. It has to be in your consciousness. You never need any teacher. You never need any guide. The reason why Gautama the Buddha, never follow me, he says, never follow me. You check everything from your mind. You check everything. Don't blindly follow. Once you are convinced, then only you follow. Self-conviction is everything. Self-conviction comes with trial and error, comes with experimentation, comes with investigative type of consciousness. Unless you make trials, how can you learn? Blindly never follow anything. Spirituality is not based on any type of empiricism. Spirituality or spiritual truth is not based on any type of abstract statements. No empiricism, no abstractness here. Everything has to be thoroughly scanned, examined, and investigated. For you to get convinced, investigate by way of going within. How? How do you go within? Now we understood the value of going within, the value of getting centered, the value of acquiring childlike consciousness, the value of practicing inner ease and commitment, the value of holding your experiences, the value of memorizing all these things. We understood. This is all preparation. Preparation is everything. Going to a ring, an Olympic champion prepares for 4 years. He practices for 4 years. Every day in the morning, he keeps his timer, 100-meter sprint, 10 seconds, 9.9 seconds, 9.8, when beyond, and staying every time, not less than that. That makes you a champion. And holding the same spirit during that 10 seconds race in the Olympics. Whatever that you practiced earlier will be reflected in the race sprint, 100-meter sprint. Unless you practice, can you run in 9.5 seconds, 9.6 seconds? It is possible. Can you face Muhammad Ali without any practice and preparation? Impossible. Similarly, going within is also a type of battle. Going within is also a type of spiritual Olympics for you. Daily practice makes you a champion. That makes you a master of your life. Mastery is not about mastering people. Mastering your mind, mastering your senses, mastering your consciousness. That alone makes you a master. If you call someone as a master, doesn't mean that he has a lot of slaves and followers and students. It is not like that. Mastery is all about self-mastery, nothing else. Mastering others doesn't exist. That exists only in social reality, never in spiritual reality. In spiritual reality, awakening alone exists. Self-mastery alone exists. Mastering over others never exists. So, how will we go within? We go within by way of aligning our thought, feeling, and action. Thought, feeling, and action. These three has to be aligned. This trinity has to be understood. Close your eyes and keep your hands like this, two hands like this. A small circle is there here. The small gap between the thumbs. And you sit like a king. How does it sit? How does a king sit? He sits straight, making your backbone the real support. All the muscles in the body should be relaxed. Drop your shoulders. Relax your mind. Relax your body. Relax your both limbs, upper limbs, lower limbs. Only spine is straight. Paraspinal muscles alone are working to keep the spine straight. Watch the breath. When you're agitated, when you're frustrated, the consciousness comes to the front part of the body. The reason why we are not aware of our backside. Backside, though the physical eyes do not exist, but the awareness is more in the upper part of the body and front part of the body. When you are totally intense inside, you become aware of whole body. Watch your breath easily. Don't try to control. We have to follow something called as natural breathing. Watch any child, how does it breathe? Watch any animal, how does it breathe? The movement happens in the abdomen. Though the lungs do not exist in abdomen, abdomen rises and falls with every incoming and outgoing breath. There is a natural breathing. The only difference between child and adult in terms of breathing is the child breathes through abdomen and the adults breathe through chest. The child makes deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, easy breathing, jerkless breathing, while the adult is almost reverse. Chest breathing, shallow, lot of jerks as per his agitation of mind. Now, the erratic breathing of the adult has to be changed, transformed into childlike breathing or yogi's breathing or animal's breathing. Diaphragm is the muscle which separates the chest and abdomen. Diaphragm is the muscle over which lungs rest. It's a large muscle where all our emotional baggages are stored. These emotional baggages stop this muscle not being used for respiration. That's why the breathing has become shallow. The mind and breathing are very much interconnected. As is your mind, so is your breathing. You work either from mind or from breath, you will get centered. Now let us work from breath. When you inhale, the abdomen has to rise. When you exhale, abdomen has to go within. When you inhale, abdomen rises. When you exhale, abdomen moves within. Nose and navel should be aligned. Every human being should be turned into a Padmanabha. Vishnu is otherwise called as Padmanabha. From his Nabhi, umbilicus, comes a lotus on which Brahma, the god of creation, creates the world. That means all creation emerges from Navi. That is the meaning of this Padma, Nabha. Exhalation is more important than inhalation. When you exhale, let go of all your mind, exhale your mind, exhale your heart, exhale all your thoughts, exhale all your feelings into the Hara. Hara is like a black hole, it absorbs everything. The silver card emerges from Hara, the connecting thread between the non-physical bodies and physical body. It is center of life and center of death as well. Hara is also called as Hiranyagarbha in Himalayan traditions. The Garbha is a place where we all lived for 9 months. And the nature has placed the uterus cunningly in the lower abdominal area, where we stayed for 9 months, where we have grown slowly from single cell organism to a 3 kilo or 4 kilo entity. Just like the baby is connected to the mother through the umbilical cord, every human being is connected through the Hara to the cosmos. Not through any chakra, but this centered consciousness. When the consciousness gets centered, it finds itself in the lower abdomen, viscerally, from inside. Second half of exhalation is even more important. Because you sink into the center. Be watchful of the breath inhalation and exhalation. With every inhalation, abdomen rises. With every exhalation, abdomen goes within. Observe the gaps between inhalation and exhalation as well, and vice versa. The gap between exhalation and inhalation. End of exhalation is the most crucial point. It is a point of nirvana. For that single moment, for that most precious and pristine moment, the entire cycle of breath has to be watched, observed with ease. No efforts are required, no concentration is required. Just watch the breath, that's all. No jerks in breathing, no pauses. The breath has to flow like oil. Swami Rama says, Thila Dara. Like flow of oil, breath should be. Exhale all your thoughts. Exhale entire mind. Exhale entire emotional mind. Exhale all the imprints and impressions, all your beliefs, all that you think you are, into the Hara. When the focal point of attention moves towards Hara, the consciousness starts getting internalized. We become an antarmukhi. The journey towards its center is called as antaryana, inner journey. Mahavtar Babaji says, if the size of your Hara becomes the size of your physical body, you become an immortal. That's the whole purpose of Kriya Yoga, the way he taught Lahir Mashay. The Kutastha opens the front third eye, the front part and back part. The connective bridge, which Lahir Mashay calls as Krishna's fruit, that gets opened up with the help of Hara, with the help of awakening happening here. Every enlightened man is aware of this Hara, though they may not use the word Hara. Entire life, Osho Rajneesh taught these practices in many forms and formats. He calls, make your belly your best friend. At Hara, knowing happens without any thinking. Many people are addicted to know things, addicted to understand things by way of thinking more, by way of practicing excessive thinking. But no. A wise man brings all his thoughts and destroys them in Hara and keeps watching from that centered consciousness for the insight that is emerging within. He waits and he gets. That's a way of understanding oneself. There's a way of examining the veracity of every thing that you know, that you think you know. Every thought has to be examined, scanned. Like every file should be scanned. With the antivirus software, every thought has to be scanned. Without scanning, no thought should enter into your field, consciousness field, you know. Adult is made up of that. He allows all stray thoughts, thought viruses, emotional viruses. His software is contaminated, sluggish, never formatted. Spiritual sadhana is nothing but formatting your mental system, formatting your psycho-emotional body. All sadhana is nothing but formatting your system. A child doesn't need it. He has to just stay like a child, that's all. Mastery of breath means making the breath abdominal every time you breathe, even during wakeful consciousness, even during sleep, 24/7. Easily, effortlessly. That is the mastery of breath. Free, easy, subtle rise and fall of abdomen with every inhalation, exhalation. That is called as mastery of breath. With mastery of breath, the mastery of senses happens. The mastery of mind happens. The mastery of emotional body happens. Your system gets formatted. And you have to choose it. It doesn't happen on its own. You have to choose it. Please close your eyes slowly. The mind's attention on your hara should remain. In the wakeful hours, the wakeful consciousness, the mind's eye, the manonetra, should be on your hara continuously. It has to be there. Like I said, mastery of breath is about making your breath abdominal in nature, easily, freely, effortlessly, subtly. Mastery of consciousness is keeping your mind's eye always there. You must be able to think from the center of consciousness. You must be able to talk from your center of consciousness. Every word that you utter should come from within, from that center. Every thought should emerge from that center. It happens. I discovered this when I was a child. I lost the value of it by getting into formal meditation techniques. Spiritual sadhana is not about any technique. Spiritual sadhana is all about understanding the significance. Though I'm talking like a technique, it's not that. It is conditioning your breath to natural way, eliminating your mind, formatting your mind, because you need it. It appears like practice. But if you call it a practice, make it effortless practice, not effortful. No strain, no stress, no concentration. There are no achievements in spirituality. There are only attunements, alignments, aligning your head and heart. That alone exists. There are no achievements. Achievements, I got an award, I got a reward. All this nonsense exists only in social reality. No one is going to give you a award when you get awakened. No one knows even, except yourself. Even if you say also, no one can understand. only you know. You know for sure what is happening to you. There is no need to be exhibitionistic. But everything that you have, that is everything that you know, you don't have to be more exhibitionistic. Even if you express, the internalization of consciousness should not be stopped, not at the cost of your internalization of consciousness. That is the real sadhana. Sat means truth, dhan means treasure. Truth is your treasure. The meaning of sadhana is this. Truth alone should become your treasure. How the truth emerges, all the facts need to be scanned. What you think as facts need to be scanned, whether it is truth or not. There is a truth inside it or not. When everything is scanned, truth emerges. All the facts put in a mixie, a drop of the essence comes out. That is called a wisdom, the truth. That is your real treasure. It can never be stolen. It can never be snatched. That is your real treasure. Only treasure. Not the gold you accumulate, not the cash you accumulate, not the properties you accumulate. Nothing. This drop of wisdom comes to you from incarnation to incarnation. Keep on acquiring droplets of wisdom. Like honeybee collects the nectar and turns into honey. You collect droplets of wisdom and make your own honey, elixir of life. That is this session all about. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, we'll close the session. 1 or 2 questions, enough. Anybody has? We'll close the session today. Thank you very much.